Beneath the fresh waters of the Great Lakes lies a deep mystery. Lake trout, a fish native to the lake, vanished in the 1950s. Why? And will they ever come back?
Where do we go now that these lakes are so full, no room to grow? Trapped in this great lake fishbowl, can't go on living between the islands and the shoals. Where do we go now that these lakes are so full?
At the Great Lakes Water Institute, John Jansen and his team are trying to solve the mystery. Niske, their research boat, has been exploring the Great Lakes since 1969. 20 miles in a reef in Lake Michigan, they are researching for the baby trout spawning sites.
Even though we don't know exactly what the extinct lake trout were doing, we know they ate a lot of fish, etc. But even we don't know exactly what their role was in the lake, it would be a good idea if we want to make the lakes as healthy as possible to bring back the lake trout. Back when the lake trout were spawning naturally, this was probably the most important spawning area in all of Lake Michigan.
To search for the baby trout underwater, the scientists use a ROV, remotely operated vehicle. Back in the boat, Jansen studies the monitor intensely. On the sea floor, quagga mussel, the notorious invasive species, is everywhere. Once they see a movement, Jansen squeezes a remote to trigger an electric shock, and the briefly stunned fish is sucked into the ROV's collection cylinder.
So what is it sucking up now?
Anything and everything.
A lot of dirt.
Yeah, and occasionally we get a baby lake trout in there too.
3 hours of sampling later, the ROV is ready to be pulled up. Among this pile of quagga mussel, they have to find a rare baby lake trout.
It's like panning for gold, huh?
What did he say?
It's like panning for gold.
Our first baby lake trout was in 2003. Everybody thought it was a miracle. And the past 3 years, we're up to right now close to 60, which is not a lot, but it's significant in terms of the genetic potential.
Lake trouts died out in the 1950s due to invasive species. Then it was a fish called sea lamprey. Now it's the quagga mussel in Ukraine.
There's been so many invasive species that change the system so rapidly that we never catch up. We can never figure out what the impact of one invasive species is before there's another one that's starting to change the system again. And that becomes very, very frustrating.
Despite the challenge, Jansen continues on. 14 hours later, they bring in the last sample.
Okay, find
My trout.
find the Chris trout.
So we got 17 today, which is our new record.
As the day comes to an end, it is unknown if the lake trout will come back entirely. But Jansen's efforts give us some hope.
Where do we go now that these lakes are so full, no room to grow? Trapped in this great lake fishbowl, can't go on living between the islands and the shoals. Where do we go now that these lakes are so full? Where do we go now that these lakes are so full? Where do we go now that these lakes are so full?